All right, we're on. All right, I call the meeting of the Emergency Services Facilities Building Committee, Town of Wellington. We're in the upper level at the Dawn Office Building. Call the meeting to order at 6:41. Going to call the roll. Present are Marco, Tulis, McCoo, Knight, Kowski, Gantic, and Mills. Tulis, you have the card.
I do, okay. We don't have any minutes to go over.
No.
We should just make sure we're speaking up too, because that's way far away from us.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, you guys are good as long as you're speaking.
Okay.
Projecting.
Present to speak, anyone? Seeing no one in the room.
All right,
Sorry, trying to raise hand, guys.
Mr. Marshall.
Good evening, gentlemen. Jim Marshall, Fisher Hill Road. Just briefly, I won't take up too much of your time. I just wanted to say that I had some back and forth with Ralph, that I had via email that I had asked him to share with the committee, offering to assist on some master project planning for long-term needs. I hope you all had a chance. The offer still stands. But also just to make I'm here just to make the periodic but urgent request for the committee to consider soliciting an OPM to help them move the process along, or the larger overarching charge of the committee's need along as urgently as possible, so that the town has a complete picture before any funding is spent. I appreciate the work you guys are doing, but the reality is you're volunteers, and without professional assistance, somebody able to work on this, with the experience and able to have the paid dedication, to really prioritize and help you guys do your charge, is important. So I hope you consider it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Anyone at the table? Seeing nothing, we'll move on to full business.
Sorry, Ralph. One last comment. You got to speak up a little bit, but the meeting link you guys posted on the town website did not work. You do appear to get in by passcode and meeting ID, just for future reference in case there's a fix needed.
Now, which Zoom link did you use, John?
The Town of Wellington Emergency Services, where you click on the meeting agenda, the link on that page.
Or on the website?
On the town website.
Okay.
The town website link.
Okay. I just want to know for.
It just goes, meeting does not exist. Yep. All right. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
1844, we seek Peter Lutensis.
Okay, whole business. Item A is remediation on Station 13, round 2. And I'm actually, okay, I'm going to try to speak up. I'm not very good at speaking loud. So. Okay, that was whole business. Item A, remediation of Station 13, round 2. We had a price from Service Master by Mason. And that is only the remediation. That does not include the removal of electrical, HVAC, plumbing, etc. Replacing said stuff. And that number was outrageous.
what was the number?
72,000.
72,000.
I honestly think we should put it up to, or at least solicit from other entities to do the same work, because that's crazy. But then this kind of goes in with or works into the work that was going on yesterday and today at Station 13, foundation drains. The foundation drains were not constructed in accordance with the drawings. There's missing pieces of pipe. It's not a complete loop around the building. Public Works put in a section of pipe to connect the left side to the right side. And the drains are clear to the outlet in the 24-inch RCP. So we've got that much taken care of. The downspouts are converted to daylight on the surface for now. One of my concerns, and I think this is something else that needs to be pursued, is we should pressure test the under slab plumbing.
The domestic plumbing.
Yes, potable water. Because if there's a pinhole leak or a small leak in that piping under the slab, no one would really recognize it. And it could have been saturating the soil underneath that building for who knows how long. And we should do this before we do another round of remediation if we're gonna build it. And if we find a leak, that adds a new twist. Because how do you fix it? It's under the slab.
Find it.
You abandon it, you abandon it and you put the plumbing inside the building.
That's one way to deal with it, sure. So that's kind of where we're at. So we need to initiate a search for someone to get some alternate prices on remediation and someone to test the plumbing. Any thoughts from anyone?
Can I just ask a question?
Certainly.
Just at what part is the fire department in this? What role do we play in this? Of whether getting another company or for remediation, or is this done by the committee?
Well,
Because there's no direction as to,
no, that's a valid question. And at this juncture, yeah, what do we feel, guys? I think it's.
Well, I think that's a really good question. And we're a little bit on the fence because in a sense, to some extent, we're an advisory committee that's supposed to be making recommendations to the Board of Selectmen to do things, right? But we're also where the subject matter experts are to a certain extent, not including the good comment from Jim Marshall about bringing in other, experts. But
Right.
as far as the local expertise, this is the room where it is. And so are we supposed to be making a recommendation, or are we supposed to be doing another RFP like we did for the consultant? Or are we supposed to be saying to the fire department, hey, by contract, you own the building, it's your responsibility, get back to us, what's the right path for us to take forward? I don't know.
and I think the fire department needs a little direction from probably the Board of Selectmen, because it comes to a financial, we've had Roto-Rooter out there yesterday, which we're more than happy, that it's done. But it was $2,300, which no one's complaining. But that $2,300 adds up. We're starting to talk about pressurizing and pressure testing the well. Again, I don't think anybody would disagree that we should do that. But we need to know the cost and how we're gonna go about that. We pay it. Roto-Rooter, we agreed. But that came down to a phone call from the first selectman of this has to be done. So.
I can do
Again,
that.
we're not trying to, we just needed a little direction. And I don't know.
Understand. And I don't disagree.
There's no budget items that come out of the operation.
I couldn't hear you, I'm sorry.
They're unbudgeted items that are coming out of the operation budget. In
Right.
the end, there should be things that are just not gonna suffer.
Right.
As long as they're okay with that, and you go back to Board of Finance and plead your case for more funding, I guess that's what they want you to do. I don't know.
Well, when you adjusted the budget, where did the money come out of?
For,
You had to reduce the budget?
so we reduced the building maintenance at the main station because of the expenses at the south station. With us occupying the south station, the expenditures there were greater. So we kind of evened them out, but,
Pressure testing is not that complicated,
and I'm not saying it is, I'm just,
and we can do that for nothing. If, as long as everything's hooked up, the water pump is working, I can go down there, put a pressure gauge in one of the spigots. And see what we get, see how long it holds. If that pressure declines over time, we're gonna shut the well pump off. Close the valve from the well.
Yep.
make sure the system's pressurized with the gauge in place, and then monitor it for 24 hours and see what happens. If it goes down. Now. All the fixtures. That were in the bathrooms and the kitchen,
They're closed, nothing's leaking by.
okay, they're all closed up. Okay. So that would work. We get an outside spigot that they used when they,
And I'm fine with that, as long as it's just,
that's a no cost thing, that's the point I'm getting at.
Okay.
You know, I can go down there anytime and do that. As far as chasing another remediation firm. I don't know how we should do that.
I don't even,
When is the next board of selectmen meeting?
Right. The last one we had was, well, would be 2 months. But, yeah. Just
Calendar.
should be. 23rd,
So first and third happened, what that was, the first and third Mondays happened, which were the second and the 16th. Right, the selectmen's meetings
Yeah,
are first and
right,
thirds,
yeah,
Won't be
so
till the
now you
7th.
have,
I think there's a special meeting.
it's 2.5 weeks from now.
There may be a special. What's that one's called? Special meeting?
Yeah, there's, I think there was a notice. That was,
So to the chief's point, maybe we should be getting some direction.
And now you want to close that.
No, they zoomed into our meeting, but that's downstairs.
I thought we were the big draw.
Yeah, we drew the board of finance. And here they are again. I think they may just be one.
One meeting.
I don't know what the answer is to that.
I think we need to, if I may. Sort of that backtrack here somewhat. I think the first priority our committee identified was to address Station 13 situation. And secure that building so we can place what the trucks going. I think we all agreed that was our goal.
That was the first priority.
Before we could receive our real charge that Ralph just alluded to, which was identifying the new infrastructure down the road. Now, I don't think it's a good idea, personally, I don't think it's a good idea to stop down and say, well, whose jurisdiction is this? You know,
we're not.
that sounds like, just relax, guys. That sounds like more delay. I think we need to continue to identify the path forward, we made some progress. Selectmen have public works there, drainage has been rectified to some extent, it's moving in the right direction. Ralph has contributed, I think we should stick to where you were, Andy.
Where was that?
Well, you appeared twice now before the Board of Finance with a ballpark cost of proceeding with remediation and returning the rolling stock into that building. Or potentially the option of not remediating and replacing that building temporary structure. That Ralph can work on as well.
We'll talk about that a little bit. Sure.
Talk about that a little bit. I don't think we want to stop these paths forward and say, who's in charge? We can bring that scope, that cost to the Board of Finance and the Board of Selectmen, and they can decide.
You just with the single,
If we sit here and go in circles saying, well, is this the fire department's jurisdiction, is this the corporation's jurisdiction, is this the jurisdiction? Snow's fly.
so you're suggesting we move forward with the single quote we have for remediation?
No, I don't think so.
I'm suggesting we pursue all paths moving forward,
Yeah, yeah.
not stop to worry about whether the selectmen think we should be doing this.
Oh,
Well, with the selectmen's meeting 2.5 weeks away, I think you're right, because then that creates a time lapse problem. If it was next Monday, it might be a different conversation.
We're having a nice September where it's not gonna be taken.
Right, so maybe we have to either ask the fire department or we have to run for
Yeah.
RFP.
Well, how did the RFP work for the service master?
Well, they just asked them to come for price because they're on state contracts.
They're on state contracts, so they're already in this. How complex is it to do an RFP for mold remediation?
Well, there should be other companies on state contract.
Are you talking about the mold remediation, you're talking about the
Yes.
electrical work?
No,
Remove
the mold,
everything.
the mold remediation to start with, but we're also gonna have to pursue the electrical. and
So you-
HVAC.
So you want another quote? Even though Service Master was off a state contract, which already embedded, you want another one?
I've got some feedback about the Service Master by Mason and their pricing, and it's not very favorable. They may be on the state list, but their prices are,
Well, they can't be.
Well, it's a matter of what they-
They're already vetted by DAS. So they can't-
Right.
They can't be gouged.
But DAS has probably established and agreed upon like dollar per hour rate, things like that, and they may just be adding a lot of extra hours.
It could be, the next guy.
And so that's why you get, even if you get another one on the state list, and that's them to look at it, and maybe they figure they can do it in 100 less hours. Or 50 less hours.
If we're asking the towns for funding, just behooves us to follow town purchase accounts.
Yeah, and this has gained a little extra attention because this is gonna be the second time remediating the same mold problem. And taxpayers are already talking about, why are we paying twice to remediate?
Yeah, you can find as many people as you want, the fact, but don't say no one follow town purchasing policy, that's what the state contract calls for. The work's already done for you, you can grab them and utilize them.
right,
That's the idea, we have a state contract.
Right.
They've already been vetted.
And that may be true, but the extra step of following our own town's purchasing practices just makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I did, in the last 2 months, I've been involved with public processes for fire alarm service. Both companies were on the DAS contract. And it was a fire alarm upgrade in the public building, and there was a $47,000 difference between the two companies, both on state contract, same level, because one figured they could do it in a lot less hours of labor, and that was the whole difference.
She just have to find someone to do the legwork. To find a couple of those. Right.
Who's gonna do the legwork? You,
I'll do it.
and, cause
I don't know how to do it, problem with.
there were some, so.
Yeah.
Brenda Kelleher floated a name and she shared that.
Yeah, Bruce Lawler.
Bruce Lawler floated some names they're just names of the cloud to me, I don't know what it's about. And
I get-
DAS list is public, right, DAS
Yeah.
list is public, so.
Yeah, the DAS portal is a little hard to use.
Yeah,
but you
they're
can
on-
look them up, and yeah, it's clumsy.
So actually, I should be on there. My business should be on.
Well, find your way in that.
Find your way in.
I never use it, but.
No.
Okay, I will say so. That on,
And that includes the removal of parts office.
Service Master by Mason told Alex that the electrical has to go before they'll touch it.
Correct.
And I told Service Master, we would take care of this, by putting it this. So if we're gonna get other quotes, we have.
As long as, right, apples to apples, and then the electrical work is a separate.
And we need to
Right
make
thing to
sure,
do.
well, I wanna make sure that it's just the electrical they're concerned about removing.
Yeah, the communication. It's gotta go.
Yeah, that server or whatever you call it, switch steer.
Yeah, it's a touchy thing, you can't just shut that thing on. That's a problem.
Did they run heaters?
In this meeting, I think they're going to this.
Did Service Master advise you about the heaters? Say anything about
I don't have a recollection, they hang down, I don't know what they.
furnace in the back though?
Right, yeah.
What's that heating? Just hot water?
They pays for it.
Melissa, just so you know, you're in the Emergency Services Building Committee in case you were going to the other meeting.
He was the bit.
That was for you, Melissa. I don't know. Cross links.
Oh. Just before we get off this, I did speak to Troy today, and there were several physical blockages, real blockages within the pipes.
Oh, I was gonna hit them.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to steal you.
No, that's fine.
You know more about it than I do. so.
I was there. They dug up, 2 opposing corners. We started at the corner closest to the 24-inch RCP. Jetted that down, that was clean. Went down the right side to the corner, cleaned that out. Got partway across the front and hit a blockage. So then we went to the left rear corner. Jetted the back, got about 20 feet, and that was it. Came back towards the front on the left side. Got to the corner. And hit dirt. So later on, after they left, Public Works dug up the left front corner. There was no piping there. There were no caps on the end of the pipes. It was just buried. So Public Works put in a new section of pipe connected the left side to the front. So now we have at least 3.5 sides draining away from the building. The interesting thing is the ground was pretty dry. I would say the left rear corner was damp, but not wet. So, and all of the downspouts now drain to daylight, so. I think that takes care of that.
That's the Zoom meeting trying to get in on.
The Board of Finance link, gentlemen, I didn't want to interrupt your train of thought, but if you try to log into the Board of Finance, it brings you here.
Oh,
Because I tried to drop out to join that meeting. You're sharing a Zoom link, apparently.
Jim, do you have the meeting ID and passcode for the Board of Finance meeting?
I will find it. Hold on. Passcode is the same as yours, so I'm going to assume that the meeting ID is the same as yours as well.
Yeah, I have the same thing.
Yep,
So if
that's
you-
exactly right. The meeting IDs and passcodes are the same.
That's cool.
So, somebody should talk to Board of Finance downstairs, and figure out what you want to do.
Yeah, because I should be on that other meeting and I don't have a link. I'm sitting here with my foot up because I screwed up my ankle, so.
Andy's gonna run downstairs and talk to them. Yes,
All right.
I'm out. I bet that's what these texts. Yeah. People are texting, saying, two meetings are in the same place.
Guess they all get your phone number, Mike. The only one I got is from my nursery. Select people get all the proposals.
No, I came here tonight.
So we don't have.
Hello. Period. Just tried to use the link to sign in.
Yes, at noon.
And they disappeared on his desk, or
There was one, I know there was one paper one. And at least 3 emailed proposals.
you can ask me.
So normally has a no printed for community review, which is the purpose of the meeting.
That was the goal tonight, was to,
Yes.
excellent. We can at least talk about how we're gonna, judge them, but
Can we find them? We're in the same building.
you know Shannon's passcode, password for her computer. Shannon's. Okay then.
Yeah, so you had communications with the selectman's office during the day today. How was it left? What were they supposed to do with them?
What she was going to do was to take 1 copy.
Yeah.
Put them in an envelope.
Yeah. For us.
For each of the proposals she got.
Yeah.
And that was gonna be brought to us. Doesn't seem like it.
And we don't know who was gonna bring it to us.
Exactly.
Do you have the proposals? Andy?
I don't have any proposals.
Well,
I
then,
didn't see any physical in my Outlook.
Oh, can we get in there?
we have to get off, we can't have two meetings at the same time on Zoom, apparently.
Well, we can if the links are done right, but apparently we have the same link for both meetings.
Right, there's more people that want to get into the Board of Finance than this one.
And we
So-
also apparently don't have the proposals we're supposed to.
Right, I didn't,
No,
I
I
didn't,
don't just remember who they are. They're sitting
so-
in the mailbox.
can we do a 5-minute recess here while we get off of this Zoom
We
account?
can't continue the meeting on Zoom because we advertised it on Zoom.
So what
It's
do
a
we do?
hybrid meeting, so we can't continue it off Zoom because then we would be
Okay,
violating the open meeting rules.
first selectman has asked that we get off Zoom, so do we just
Then we-
adjourn?
So we adjourn?
I guess we just adjourn.
All right. Then,
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
okay, we have a second. Okay, meeting, so also we made a second to adjourn the meeting.
Discussion.
Discussion.
Open that all the way up. You are the host now, go to the participants, and I think we can let them all in. Admit them. Submit one more.
There we go.
Hey. Yeah, now record to here.
So stopping,
No, we're recording to the cloud from here, I think. Is it already recorded to
it
the
said
cloud?
pause, stop recording, it must be,
Let's stop recording and then start it again.
okay.